What's good, YouTube? Nader94 here, and today we're gonna do another episode of Caffeine. The, well, or at least, very least, the demo. I also learned that one of my... I also learned that one of my previous visual novels actually originally started on H.io as a Kickstarter, but I couldn't. Performing Caffeine requires... Yes, caffeine is a performance. It's not the drug. Coffee is expensive, I'll give the game that. A cup of premium coffee, like the one you had, is just nearly a day's wage for most people. Jesus Christ, Starbucks exists! Caffeine isn't really for commoners like me. I'd like to know what country's living in this era. Especially this time of year. My camera just had, I'm gonna move the recording a little bit. Otherwise that's gonna bug me. There we go. Wow, a day's wage? I feel so bad about you paying for that expensive cup of coffee. I should pay you back. You don't have to repay me. In fact, you should stay here as long as you like. Really? I can stay? Look like you have any place to stay anyway, right? And you're in no condition to be roaming around Victoria looking for lodging. The whole second floor is empty. The bedroom hasn't been occupied for nearly a year. So I wouldn't mind you staying here and looking after the place during the night. Speechless. I don't know what to say. And maybe if I stay at this coffee house, I can search for clues about my mom. This is my parents' coffee house, after all. There must be something hidden in the attic or basement or anywhere. Great, then that's it. You'll be staying here until you are better. Yay! Yay, this is the happiest day of my life. What the fuck? I'm not sure why you two are so happy, but I'm here to close down this coffee house. What? Constantine the Enforcer? Oh no, I forgot. It's today. Wait, I don't understand. Who's this guy? Why is he closing down the coffee house? Do you have to ask why? He disgusts this. Please don't close it down. I'm trying to hire a barista, but no one will take the job. Alice, what's going on? Yeah, we're gonna become the barista of this place. You have no idea what's happening, do you? This coffee house hasn't sold a single cup of coffee in months, and that's against the law. Cool. There's a law that says you have to serve coffee in a coffee house? Of course, what's the point of calling a coffee house if you don't sell coffee? And no! And why is no one willing to work here? Because of the curse. The curse? The well-known barista of Taki Cup. The well-known barista curse of Taka Coffee House. It's none of my business. The fact is, you don't have a barista now, and I'm obligated to close this coffee house down. Now, you two need to step outside while I lock the main door with this chain. No, please, don't. I put everything into this coffee house, and if you close it down, I'll have nowhere to go. You should have thought about that before you invested in this piece of junk. What did you say? This coffee house is not a piece of junk. And just who are you? Tell me, why is this conversation your business to begin with? Just who am I? Do I say I'm a time traveler? From another world? Do I have anything that would impress this guy here? I'm the new barista here. Barista? You're the new barista? Yes, I am. With lots of experience, I've been brewing coffee since last summer. At Sparducks. A barista at Sparducks? Never heard of this coffee house before. Well, it's in the West of the States. I guess just returned to Victoria from the West Home. West Coast states from being away for very long. Did Alice just start making things up? But good for her, I was starting to run out of ideas. Alice is pretty quick-witted. Why are your pupils so large? That's because I'm lying. No, I mean telling the truth. Oh god, that's adorable. Constantine doesn't seem to care if Alice is lying or not, though. Instead, he turns to me and gives me an intense stare. Alright, so you're a barista. Are you registered with Coffee Academia? No. Coffee Academia? What's that? Thought so. You know you aren't allowed to brew coffee in Victoria until you're a barista, correct? You need to register to be a barista? Seriously? You think this is... A barista is the most prestigious occupation in Victoria. A single cup of under-extracted coffee could endanger the lives of our cuppers. What's interesting is, like, this is sort of reminding me of, Food Wars, but not entirely. Do you think you can just call yourself to be a barista? I had no idea. I can go and register now. Too late, I'm closing down this coffee house today. Surely you can wait for a few hours. No. Really? Don't be like that. Just give us some flexibility. The law has no flexibility. Written on paper, set in stone. You have either broken the law or you have not. But this is our life. There must be mercy beyond the law. Never heard of that. Really, you've never heard of mercy? Somebody ought to teach you some manners. Listen to me, both of you. Stop arguing. Now what, Alex? Alice, if you're going to plead for mercy, then be warned that I won't be listening. Isn't there a law that says a barista with a foreign coffee house experience that has just arrived in Victoria can temporarily work as a barista for 15 days? All he has to do is pass the barista exam in 15 days. And he can continue to work here, right? There is indeed such a law. So I'm officially hiring Taka as barista at Taka Coffee House. He will register for barista test and obtain his license in 15 days. That's certainly allowable, right? We both look at Constantine, who's now deep in thought. As indeed in accordance with Victorian law. 15 days, that's it. I'll be back in 15 days. If you have not obtained your license by then, this coffee house will be shut down. Constantine doesn't wait for us to reply. He turns around and heads back towards the door, not even bothering to look back. You did it! You saved Taka Coffee House! Just for now. What just happened? What's this license I need to get? The barista license. You need it before you can practice coffee brewing in Victoria. Tomorrow morning, you'll need to head to Coffee Academia and register for the barista test. Once you pass the test, you can officially be a barista. But what? You really plan to do this? You really plan to be a barista at this coffee house? Of course. I'm not going to watch it get closed down by some stupid law, but also... This coffee house has my name on it, yep. Actually, you owe her. I owe you for taking care of me. I can't imagine what would have happened to me if you hadn't taken me in and helped me get better. Don't say that, Taka. I wouldn't have left you out there on the beach unconscious like that. You would have done the same if I were in the same situation, right? Of course, but still, I owe you. You saved my life. I'll do whatever it takes to make sure your coffee house doesn't close down. Not to mention, this might be the key to finding my parents. It's like a quest. I need to save this coffee house before I can find them. I know it. Thank you, Taka. I can't believe you're doing this despite the barista curse. Actually, What is the barista curse? And so that was the day I started living in Taka Coffee House. 15 days. I have 15 days to prove my worth. Day 1, Taka Coffee House. I gaze in silence, looking at the coffee house I remember so fondly during my childhood days. The same coffee house my parents lived and breathed, chatting, brewing coffee, and serving customers together. How did I ever end up back here after so many years of absence? I'm still unable to comprehend. Good morning, Taka. Are you feeling much better now? Feeling much better, fresh as new. Thanks for that amazing coffee you gave me yesterday. Great! The coffee house will open in 5 minutes. Is there anything you want to know before you head off to Coffee Academia? Now's the best time to ask questions. I want to know about this barista curse. You mentioned the barista curse yesterday. What exactly did you mean? Is it something I need to be worried about? It's a curse that was landed on this coffee house before I took over. The last owner of this coffee house, high-born barista with a special trait of caffeine. The ability to jinx a coffee house. He later got fired. In revenge, he cursed this coffee house. The curse states that Taka Coffee House will lose 1 barista every month. And that's what happened? The coffee house kept losing baristas? Yes. I couldn't believe it myself, but it turns out that the curse is true. For the past year, I've already hired 11 baristas. You are my 12th. None of the baristas who worked here were able to last longer than a month. To make things worse, all of them left under unfortunate circumstances. That's why no one's willing to work here anymore. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. That's very bad indeed. But the good news is, 1 month is enough for me to take the barista test. At least I can save the coffee house before I leave. What are you talking about, Taka? If you leave after 1 month, then I'll have to find another barista. That doesn't solve anything. You're right. Perhaps we can bypass the barista curse? How? What if I don't call myself a barista? I can be a waiter instead. A waiter doesn't brew coffee, Taka. Can't I just be a writer who happens to brew coffee? That would be against the law. You've met Constantine the Enforcer. He's not going to be happy about that. Why does the city make it so hard to serve a cup of coffee? Well, I've already asked about the barista curse. I'll ask Alice about herself. I'm the owner of Taka Coffee House. I took over this business a year ago. It was going on sale for a generous little sum, so I decided to take it over and start my own part to say. I wanted to rename this place Alice's I'm not gonna pronounce that word. But it was never approved. Are you the only person here? I haven't seen anyone else work here. Yes, I'm the only person working here. I wake up every morning at 4 to prep this org. Jesus Christ, that's early. 4? 4 a.m. in the morning? No way. She's going to be shocked if I tell her that's the time I go to bed. Yes, at 4 a.m. It's tough, though. You have to do everything from cleaning, baking, and serving the customers. I can't imagine how you cope with all the work yourself. If you love your job, then it doesn't feel tiring at all. It's true. Okay, so asking her about herself made that disappear, but I had first asked about the barista curse. Ask about the coffee house. I'm curious, did you say your surname is Knight? Taka Knight, Garbage Knight? Really? The founders of this coffee house were Mr. and Mrs. Knight, and your name is Taka. It couldn't just be a coincidence, could it? The founders of this coffee house were my parents. That's amazing! I'm meeting the child of a legend! The child of a legend? Yes, the legendary Richard Knight. Not many people can remember something that happened more than 20 years ago. But after taking over this coffee house, I picked up stories about the founders. Turns out they were quite famous during their times. My father was famous? He never told me anything about this. See there, up on the wall? That's the Eternity Badge. A badge only won by the best baristas in Victoria. There is also a news clipping about your father. He was a celebrity barista back then. All these years, he kept a secret to himself? Feels like I don't know him anymore. I don't even know who I am. Is there anything about my mom? There's nothing here about your mom. But that was such a long time ago. The coffee house has switched hands a number of times in the past 2 decades. Things tend to get lost over the years. That's so strange. All these years and no one bothered to change the name of the coffee house? It's not because they didn't bother to. They just couldn't. Victorian coffee houses are all licensed and registered with the Royal Court. If you want to seek the Royal Court's approval. For some reason, all name-changing attempts have been rejected. That's why I could take over this coffee house for such a low sum, because it was frustrating you can't rename the business. I'll ask about the barista course again, just to see if it does that. So what happened to the last barista you hired? Okay, so I had to pressure her. He was too embarrassed to brew coffee again after that mistake. That mistake? The previous barista was pretty talented, but he was bad at keeping count of the stock. One day we ran out of coffee beans. We were worried because there were still so many customers waiting to be served. Then one of his friends came rushing in crying sadly and asked to borrow our toilet, and he left a coffee jar on the counter. The barista, though, thought it was alright to use his friend's coffee grinds, but the jar was even labeled rose, so he made sure the rose flavors would come out by using pour-over technique. By the time his friend came out and discovered what happened, the coffee had already been served to everyone in the coffee house. Was his friend really angry? He was not just angry, he was really mad. I've never seen anyone as mad as he was. Those must have been expensive coffee beans for him to be so mad. I wish it were that simple. Let me guess, it was soil. Oh God! It turns out his wife's name was Rose, and her ashes were in the coffee jar. He brewed his friend's wife. Talk about failure! Ask a little more. Okay, I know you're curious about the barista course, but we should leave this conversation for another day. No, I want to know everything, damn it! It's about time to open the coffee house. Alright, I guess we can leave it for another day. Enough recalling, let's get down to business. I think I have enough information today, let's get down to business. To defeat the Huns? Before you head off to Coffee Academia, I need some basic information from you to hire you as a barista. So, your name is Tuck and Knight, and you recently moved back to Victoria from the West Coast states. Since yesterday, Alice just assumes I'm from this country called the West Coast States. I'll just play along for now. Also, since you will be helping out at the coffee house, I need to know what you're good at. Do you have any useful skills? Hey! I like that one. Studied electrical engineering. University, spent 4 years with a female classmate in my life, but at least I know how to fix a light. Oh, spent 4 years without a female classmate in my life, but at least I know how to fix a light bulb. Oh, you know how electricity works. I saw a demonstration at Moria Coffee House the other day. They do feel convenient. The lights were really bright. They could light up the whole coffee house at night. But they're so expensive to install. Does this mean I have to work during the evening? I don't like the idea of that at all. Wait, so electricity is not a thing here? Of course, it only uses gas lamps. We only switch it on during rainy days. Gas bills are expensive. I'd rather save cost and spend it on a couple more strawberries for the cake. If that's the case, then I guess there's not much use for my major here. But you can always go talk to Mr. Wesley. He's the leading pioneer in introducing electricity to Victoria. If you go and speak with him, he might be impressed with what you know and offer to install electric lights in our coffee house for free. That's the saddest thing I've ever heard. I spent 4 years of my life doing the math, studying hard, while my friends are all going on dates, netbling and chilling every weekend. Wow, that's a really fucking stupid parody. Sorry, guys. Oh, now you tell me there's not a single light bulb in this coffee house for me to fix? Oh, the irony. For now, I need to get back to work. I'll need to head off to Coffee Academia. How can I get there? You can walk up the hill from here. It takes around 30 minutes by foot. 30 minutes uphill? That sounds like a lot of walking. Is there any public transport I can take? You can take the escalators up the hill. Wait. There are escalators on the hill? Escalators? Up the hill? Once you see it, you'll understand. Just take the flight of escalators all the way to the top. The Coffee Academia is hard to miss. Once you're there, go and talk to the librarian. He'll be happy to book you in for the barista test. I expect you to be done before noon. After that, you can head back down and help me in the coffee house. I'll see you soon. So what time does the coffee house open? Like, they never really gave me a time. They just said she wakes up at 4 a.m. So the only thing I can think of is they start around 5. I walk out of the coffee house and start to ascend up a long, story footpath. Okay. The alleys wind back and forth from left to right, but with uneven steps that make the climb even tougher. Poof. I'm already knackered. That's when I spot an old man looking at me thoughtfully, then he points towards my back. I turn around and see a column of steam pipes rising in the air, pumping out a white layer of fog from a distance. I walk over and that's when I see it. I see an escalator system powered by roaring steam engines sloping upwards towards the top. Oh, wow. That's actually kind of cool. Though I didn't think steampunk escalators would be a thing. Outdoor escalators? Who would have thought of that? Somebody clever enough? So I could just walk up the escalators and I should get to the top of the hill in no time. This place is not too far from Taka Coffee House. Maybe I can get some information about my parents. I can always come back another day, but finding clues about my mom is also important. Okay, I've seen it switch from mom to mum like 4 or 5 times. And Taka said he was from the US. So I'm very, very confused. She wants me to I'm heading to the Academia. I should head straight to Cafe Academia. I can always visit this place another day. Exactly. Your priority is to help Alice save your coffee house. Coffee Academia. I swear to God, this was just... I'm not sure. That's a massive-ass library. I walk to the main entrance and find myself staring at the main hall of the library from the upper ground floor. Lines of sun rays beam into the library floor from the glass ceilings, lighting up the spiral staircases and the nearby bookshelves. There seems to be an insignia on top of the wall, just under the window ceilings. It reads Victoria. Do I see coffee beans drawn on the top left of the corner? Top left of the crest? Yes. There's also a ship at the bottom right. I know this game wouldn't be telling me that if it wasn't important. But what does the cup emitting a glowing ray at the top supposed to mean? That the coffee's energized, dumbass. Better go and talk to the librarian. But the librarian seems to be busy talking to a girl in a metal cap. I'll just wait while they finish their conversation. Oh, there's a newspaper section over here. That picture looks familiar. The Royal Victorian Tribune. 3 casualties as blast takes Antipodin's airship. Reports of caffeine rifts in the sky. The return of Azrael? Okay. You guys are about to get a close-up of my head just so I can read, because that is way too small of font. A rare explosion over Victoria Harbor that destroyed an Antipodian airship has caused days of uncertainty and fear around Victoria, as reports swarm in across the city of caffeine rifts observed in the sky during the incident. If such observations were to be confirmed, it would add speculation towards the curse of this rare incident that had so far taken 3 casualties. The last airship explosion occurred 22 years ago. That's oddly specific. Rigid safety regulations and advancements in fire prevention technology have vastly improved the safety record for air travel ever since, but the accident that occurred last week will leave a taint towards Victorian safety records. Caffeine legacy of Azrael, whose whereabouts are unknown until this day. Oh god, this is like super anime. The airship accident. Alice really believed I was a survivor from the airship crash. So far, she hasn't suspected otherwise. But how long is this going to last? Eventually, I'm going to let slip that thing that might sound stupid for her. I should probably start reading the newspaper and get myself familiarized with current affairs. Yeah, go ahead and read. 3 casualties. Return of Resurrection. Oh my god, I just read that goddamn headline. I just read that damn article, and if I knew Taco was going to read it, I would have just continued reading. During the Victorian Civil War, many speculators who observed the rift noted that its similarities with the powers of dark caffeine a human-shaped object floating in the sky during the incidents, but this has been dismissed by the Enforcer's office as a tall tale. Floating human object. What if I go to the Enforcer's office and give myself in? Wait a minute. Isn't that guy Constantine? Yeah, stay away from him. Not a good idea. The librarian seems to be available now. I better go and speak to him. Excuse me. Yes, how may I help you, sir? I'd like to register for the Bristol test. I was wondering if... you forgot your, subtext as to who was talking. But I assumed because there is nothing there. I stopped there as the librarian doesn't seem to be listening to me anymore. He's turned to face someone else. That's annoying. I was definitely here first. I might look weird and foreign, but you should still serve me first. As I turn around to face the person vying for the librarian's attention... Ah, it's Lady Stanley. Does she want to ask the librarian something as well? But I was here first. However, she's a cupboard, right? Lady goes first. Lady? Wait, isn't that how peasants address noble women in this city? Peasants? Noble women? You have a very peculiar pool of vocabulary. Is she reading my mind? This is so funny. I don't have to say anything, and she knows everything. But I better be careful not to think about anything that'll offend her, such as... Taka's a moron. A really hilarious moron, but a moron nonetheless. I'll be right back, guys. I'm going to get me a refill of caffeine. Could you get up for a second? I'm just editing this part out. You good girl? Too good girl. Okay, I hope this is alright. But the moment my mind triggers the word sex, I immediately regret it. My mind starts to visualize every sex scene I've seen in my life, and my face starts to blush. You're an idiot. Oh dear, you've led a very interesting life, haven't you? Anyway, I believe you were here before me. Please do feel free to speak to the librarian first. No, I insist. I'm a gentleman. Ladies first. You are indeed a gentleman, but I'm the governess, so please do feel free to go first. We both stand there silent as an owl. Anyway, I'm only here to ask for a list of books related to the raging fire of Judith. I'm back in a half hour. I'll go and visit my cousin while you finish your business with this gentleman here. Lady Stanley walks away, leaving me to face the librarian alone. He turns towards me. So did you say you want to register for the Brista test? He was still listening. Let me see. I'm afraid the next available slot for the test will be 2 weeks on a Monday morning. 2 weeks later on a Monday? That's a day before Taka Coffee House gets closed now. Means I won't be able to do a retest that if I fail. That sounds like a shame. Now, would you like for me to put you in for the test? But judging by your panicking tone, I guess you do not have much of a choice, do you? I really don't like the tone of this librarian, but he's often right. Man, I really wish I had started this with Alex. He could play the posh librarian asshole. I have to take that spot. Yes, please put me in. Fine, may I have your name and the name of the coffee house you are currently employed in? Taka Knight. I'm from Taka Coffee House. Is there brewing method? The librarian spots my confusion and gives me an unfriendly smirk. I'll just put you as to be decided for now. But of course, my advice for you is to have a serious revision before attempting the test. We do not want to waste anyone's time, do we? What if I master all of the techniques? I can't stand the look on his face. Mr. Knight, are you familiar with the syllabus? No, not really. The test consists of 3 parts: cupping, brewing, and the coffee duel. Good luck. Aren't you going to explain what cupping, brewing, and coffee duel means? Oh dear, is there anything worth explaining? I mean, we both know I'm clueless with everything that's happening here, so let's not pretend otherwise. So first, what is cupping? And I need to participate in a coffee duel as well? The coffee duel is just a test whether you have the ability to perform caffeine or not. Winning is optional. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure the coffee duel is going to be against Constantine. Like, I'm 400% sure of that. I'm more worried that you don't seem to understand the concept of cupping. I would advise you to quickly find someone that you can explain. Alice. For your benefit, the Coffee Academia offers a few places for trainee baristas like you to practice your skills. If you head down to the lower ground floor, you will find the cupping room, which is where we store a collection of coffee beans from around the world. Thanks to generous subsidies from the Crown, you are free to practice with the coffee beans as many times as you like. Just make sure you clean the equipment before leaving the room. Now, is there anything I can help you with? I'm actually curious at the Victorian insignia. Like, who knows, it might be on the test. I see you've noticed the insignia on top of the wall of this building. That's Victoria's insignia. It also serves as the royal crest. The insignia dates back to more than 200 years, when the city of Victoria was established by a founder, Queen Victoria. During her reign, Victoria was already known as the coffee capital of the world. The coffee beans represent our status as the world's coffee trading center. The ship represents Victoria's maritime strength. After the conclusion of the Caffeine Wars. That sounds badass. Where's that game, guys? I'd love to play the Caffeine Wars. Victoria became the ruler of the Eastern Seas. We also have the Cup of Eternity, which sits on top of the crest. A symbol of the nation's purpose of existence, the pursuit for the Cup of Eternity that will lead us to achieve divinity. What's that supposed to be? Why, to achieve divinity. Is this also a library? No! I can't imagine it be anything else. I was expecting a snarky remark. The Coffee Academia, indeed, has the most expansive collection of books and historical artifacts in Victoria. From history books to books about coffee, science, and technology, they can all be found here. That's if there's a certain book you want to find, I'm here to assist. I'm fine for now, thanks. I'm in dire need of studying the history of this world, but I don't have time to read books. I'll just take a look around. I'll take a look around, thank you. My pleasure. I should check out the cupping rooms on the lower ground floor. Yep. Head towards the stairways that lead to the lower floor. That didn't sound good for my computer. Okay, I think we found the clumsy ditz girl. That sound seems to be coming from that room. What did she do? Jesus Christ. Okay, great. An empty room. Look at all that mess, coffee beans on the floor. The last thing I want is for the librarian to come in and accuse me of messing up the room, forcing me to spend the rest of my day cleaning up somebody's mess. What? What's that? Hello? The sacks are coughing. I must be dreaming. No, there's somebody underneath of the sacks, you asshole. Someone's being crushed under the sacks. Use caffeine, Taka. I'm using brute force. Somebody's life is counting on me. I will lift these coffee bean sacks up. They're so heavy. Can't. Reminder to myself. More gym, less video games. Think, Taka, think. I need to use my brains. What would my idol, Bruno Moon, do in this situation? I know. If I was Bruno Moon, I'd just leave you just... I'm going to smack people. No, it's not the time to make silly jokes. Great, I don't have muscles nor brains to find a solution. That's when I notice the sacks are trembling. Wait, these sacks are ripping apart? Sudden flush of energy forces me back. Wait, she's using caffeine. Then I hear a loud thud. Rain of coffee beans starts flying from the sacks like bullets spraying towards the ceiling. Ouch, that really hurts. Wait, who's that? That's when I see her. Okay, the golden outline just reminds me of the gods from Hercules. Under the rain of coffee beans showering upon me, I see a girl in a red uniform and a brass metal cap flying towards me. Rays of sunlight. Okay. Her braids swing up towards the ceiling, sweeping away the remaining coffee beans high up in the air. Her eyes are as green as the emerald birthstone, shining brightly and reflecting a vivid tone. She gives me a bewildered stare, and in her eyes I see my own reflections, which an equally confounded expression as she flies towards me. But even up in midair, she still manages to retain her posture and dignity as our eyes meet with each other. As if she's greeting me, offering our first introduction, it's a rendezvous in the air. I catch her hands, embracing the tenderness of her skin, expecting the momentum of her body to push me back. But instead of a hard impact, she lands softly into my arms like a softly cuddled teddy bear, as if she was floating in the air all along. And as she draws closer, my nostrils are drowned inside a sea of daffodils, and the richness of her scent flips me into a dreamy trance. Dude, calm down! That's when she smiles at me. Girl with a strange cap. Phew, I thought I was going to drown in there. Luckily, I had some caffeine flowing in my veins. That was enough to blast them all away. Thanks for saving me. I could have hit my head if you did not break my fall. I didn't do anything, really. I was like a spoon. A spoon? What do you mean, a spoon? Yeah, a spoon floating in the room. It got lucky and caught some sugar flying in the air. Smooth! It was, sweet. Hey, you're funny. That was actually really cute. Like, that is one hell of a flirt. The girl with the strange metal cap looks around. Coffee beans are now scattered everywhere. Oh no, I made such a mess. This is gonna take a while to clean up. What happened? Why were you under a pile of sacks? Because of a shipment of very special coffee beans arrived this morning. Special coffee beans? Yeah, a shipment of Mayan coffee beans that everyone in Victoria has been waiting for. I ordered a sack, which was due to arrive this morning. But the delivery person stacked it high up the shelf. I didn't want to bother anyone, so I tried lifting it down myself. And then the whole pile fell on top of me. That's how I ended up stuck underneath. You're lucky you didn't get hurt. You're lucky you didn't break any bones. You have strong bones. Brilliant. Just brilliant. Commenting on the strength of her bones will definitely cheer her up. Now, no wonder I have so little success with girls all of my life. Thank you. I'm equally surprised as well. I do have strong bones. In fact, I've never broken a single bone in my life. Bullshit! Caffeine protects me from the unbearable weight of the coffee beans. It was only after I realized that I was not hurt that I remembered that I could just blast the sacks away with caffeine. Oh, speaking of which, are you hurt? Those coffee beans went up in the air. Could be painful, like flying bullets. I should have thought about that before performing my caffeine. Oh no, I'm alright. You did the right thing. Actually, it hurts terribly. Next time she's stuck under a pile of beans, I'm out of here. But what's so special about these coffee beans? They're coffee beans from the Mayan Highlands, from a family estate. 50 hectares grown at altitudes of 1950 to 2250 meters above sea level. The valley is hot during the day due to enclosed valley, but the mist from the Pacific Ocean cools the valley down to 15 degrees during the night. The shade and cover allows the coffee cherries to absorb more sugar and produce more acids, giving it a sweeter, sugary taste with yellow fruit characteristics. The valleys are surrounded by active volcanoes. The soil is rich with earthy flavors, making it one of the most versatile coffee beans to be produced this year. I only understood half of what you just said, but from what I gathered, you're basically saying these are excellent coffee beans. Not only are they excellent coffee beans, they're very rare as well, produced as a microbatch. state has only shipped 7 sacks of these coffee beans this year, and only 2 sacks were shipped to Victoria. And 1 sack is now lying on the floor in front of us. 7 sacks in the whole world? This is an expensive mess. Yes, it is an expensive mess, but very much worth it. Oh no. 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 Okay, there we go. If I buy coffee from this estate every morning, I will be able to perform a variety of caffeine, like teleportation, change of state, and telepathy. Telepathy? You mean you can read my mind? That's really cool. Can you teach me? I take a step back. What if she reads my mind and sees all my dirty thoughts? Doofus! Stop it! Just gonna dig yourself into a corner. Are you alright? She's reading my mind now. I have to stop thinking. I can't read your mind. I haven't had a cup of coffee yet. You're reading my mind right now. Anyone can figure out what you're thinking. Such a funny person. Anyway, you're right. Sorry we haven't introduced ourselves yet. I'm Taka, and you are... Who am I? Oh, of course, because we have not been introduced yet. Duh! You may call me Eliza. I come here to practice cupping every day. What about you, Taka? Why are you here? I'm here to register for the barista test. Oh, the barista test? You're very brave. I have high respect for baristas who work hard to achieve their dreams. Well, I'm literally just here to save my coffee house and find my parents. Yep, tell me about that. My childhood dream was to become a barista and brew coffee every day. I heard they've just changed the syllabus last week. They changed the syllabus? Yes, now baristas will need to pass a coffee duel as well. I heard the pass rate is fell to 30% after they made this change. 30%? I'm doomed. What's wrong, Taka? Embarrassed to say, but not only am I hopeless in caffeine, I don't even know what cupping means. Cupping is just the observation of taste and aroma of a coffee brew. If you want to practice cupping in the coffee duel, I'm happy to help. We'll help you. Of course, you saved my life. This is an opportunity to repay you. Technically, lady, you saved your own life. Probably not a good time to go over it, as I need to clean up this room. I will need to sort the coffee beans. Some beans, different sacks have been mixed up. But I'm here every day except Sunday, so you can drop by anytime you like. Really, you're going to help me? I'm speechless. But she did say she was going to clean up the room. I look over her head at the coffee beans scattered around every corner. Feels like a lot of work for one person. Should I help her? Yes, you dick! But I promised Alice I'll be back by noon. It's already past noon by now. This is a dilemma. Will Alice be angry? I'll stay and help. Oh, thank you. That'll be so helpful. So let's collect all the beans first. Okay, let's do it. I've been down to pick up the coffee beans one by one. It'll be just like picking up strawberries. I can even sing a Beatles song while we're doing it. No. How you doing, Taka? And what are you singing? You don't have to pick up the... Oh, yes. Stupid me. We can use a vacuum cleaner. Vacuum cleaner? What is a vacuum cleaner? It's me and my big mouth. Me and my stupid mouth again. Now I have to make something up that makes sense to me. Well, vacuum cleaner is like magic. I mean caffeine. The kind of caffeine that can control air movements and create a wind force to sweep up all beans into a giant bag. I see, the air caffeine. I get what you mean now. Unfortunately, we are not Praetorians, so we cannot use caffeine to control the wind. Oh, only Praetorians can use air caffeine? How come? They don't share their coffee? Caffeine depends on your belief system. Victorians and Praetorians believe in different things, so the type of caffeine we can perform are different. So you can't perform air caffeine? Unfortunately, I can't, but there is a better way to pick them up. Give me a minute. Uissa comes back with a huge machine. There's a metal pipe sticking out from a four-wheel engine. This is our latest invention. The industrialists call the mechanical floor sweeper. It's called the mechanical floor sweeper. So it's a vacuum. That is indeed very handy. That's literally a vacuum cleaner. Yep. This is what you were talking about. That's what I'm getting at. I help Isaac vacuum the floor while Eliza salvages coffee beans still inside their sacks. Not very long. The whole room is clean again, once again. Clean as new. Now comes the hardest part. Unfortunately, some coffee beans have been mixed up. The other sentence. We will need to sort them out. Okay, is there a sorting machine? Or can you use caffeine to sort them out? Pretty sure you could use caffeine to sort them out. No, we can't. We'll need to sort them one by one, by hand. By hand? Yes, by hand. If even one gets mixed up, it'll affect the final quality of the coffee brew. So we need to be careful not to make any mistakes. But think about it. The experiment of experimenting with the two separate coffee grounds. Like, yes, you'd be able to find... Like, yes, you'd be able to, you'd be able to differentiate what beans were possibly used, but you could create a powerful new flavor. Granted, I specifically drink only one brand of coffee anyway, but at the same time, I've dabbled in drinking other grounds too, so I can actually tell a taste as well. Like, cuppers. I look over the sack of coffee beans. They all look the same to me. No, they're not the same. Look careful at these two coffee beans. This one appears to be rounder, while the other one here looks oval. The oval one is Arabica coffee beans, while the other rounder shape is the Robusta coffee bean. Never actually seen, like, coffee beans apart from working at McDonald's, and the only, like, beans I've ever seen is in the ice. And the, espresso. We should be able to sort them out into their own packs. Alright, let's get started then. This is actually a lot harder, harder than I thought. I look at the coffee beans, which were supposedly different, but it was really hard to tell. But Eliza always notices when I sort them into the wrong pack. Wait, Tucket, that's a Robusta bean. You just placed into our cup. Put it back over here. Eventually I make fewer and fewer mistakes in the room. Why did you say that out loud? I feel like striking up conversation. Do you want to hear some coffee puns? So, Eliza, you know any good coffee puns? Coffee puns? What are coffee puns, Taka? Coffee puns are like jokes about coffee. Something like, hey Eliza, I can't believe we've never met. Where have you been all my life? Get it? Where have you been? Yeah, that's funny. So coffee puns are basically papa jokes. Papa jokes? Yeah, jokes that my papa would tell me when I was a little child, but I still find them funny. Do you know any good jokes? I can't think of one at the moment, but But I can sing you a song about Arabica and Robusta. A song about them? Yes. Huh. Brown little Robusta lives down the hill. Over little Arabica lives high up the hill. Robusta has more caffeine, but tastes like bitter almonds. Arabica has less caffeine, but tastes mellow and sweet. Everyone runs up the hill to play with Arabica. Robusta is down the hill, crying alone in the wind. I'm gonna have to review this footage and write down some of this shit, because I'm at this point I think they'll wind up doing a written test joke on me. And I hate that. That's the Arabica and Robusta song? Yes, it tells you most need to know about the two types of coffee beans. Robusta are the sweet ones. They're also easier to get sick and so harder to cultivate. Robusta is more robust, they can easily be planted at lower altitude, and are more resistant to diseases. But Robusta contains caffeine and is harsher to the palate. So Robusta is the bitter one, and Arabica is the sweet. Okay, got it. It's very useful information now. How can I create a fireball? You're really good at caffeine, aren't you? I'm not really that good at it. I barely scratch the surface of caffeine. Bullshit! Bullshit. So for caffeine, I'm now at level 4. What is this, an RPG? Level 1 is when you could identify the 5 tastes in coffee, like sour, sweet, sour, bitter, salty, umami. What's umami? Level 2 is when you can identify the basic characteristics of a coffee. Is it fruity, is it floral, is it nutty, or roasty? Mine's roasty. Level 3 is when you could match the coffee taste to a certain kind of fruit. Is it fruity, is it apple, or is it orange? If it's herby, does it smell like cauliflower or fresh green? Then there's level 4, where you can identify the exact plantation the coffee bean used to drink was from. Jesus! Oh shit. There. What about level 5? There is no level 5. There's no level 5? You mean you just told me you barely scratched the surface with caffeine at maximum level? Even in level 4, there's a huge difference in everyone's abilities. Oh, I knew it's so sad. Yesterday I saw a coffee between Lady Stanista from Steamtown Coffee House. Is that the difference you were talking about? Oh, did you get to see Lady Stanley in a coffee duel? That sounds so exciting. She always puts on a great show. Yeah, no shit! She definitely looked astounding. I'm talking about her caffeine abilities, Taka. Of course, I was referring to that. What else could I be talking about? I think that barista was only level 3, though, so he had absolutely no chance against Lady Stanley again. So if you're both at level 4, you could win a duel against Lady Stanley? Eliza thought for a moment. I don't really know. I never really thought about dueling against Lady Stanley. That'd be fun to, duel against all of, the royal families. And why would I want to? Caffeine isn't used for dueling each other. We can form caffeine to build a better world. But everyone wants to just use caffeine. Everyone just wants to use caffeine to fight against each other. It's so sad just thinking about it. Can't everyone live in harmony and peace like how our founder, Queen Victoria, wanted? Remain silent. Eliza and I stay silent for the rest of the time. Finally, after an hour, all the coffee beans are sorted back into their rightful sacks. Finally, it's over. I sigh a breath of relief. Phew, I thought this would never end. Thank you for helping, Taka. It's getting a bit late. I'm I'm sorry to say, but I must go home now. Yeah, I guess I need to head back too. I wonder what Alice is thinking right now. She must be really angry. I should probably rush back to the coffee house in case she thinks I've deserted her. Dude, just explain to her that you were helping out someone in need. That type of person. I'm mostly here every day in the morning, so if you're ever at the academia, just stop by here and say hello. Oh, and you probably need special permission to come in here. I'll let the librarian know that you're fine into this room. Why do I need permission? I thought the cupping room was open to the public. Oh, but this isn't the cupping room. That's on the other side of the building. Why did the thinking room then? Oh, it's a private cupping room. Oh, that's cute. Well, what? All this time I've been in the wrong room? That's why I was surprised when you found me this morning. I guess it all makes sense now. It actually makes sense to me as well. The whole room has been empty the whole day. I thought more people would be coming over here. I return to the upper ground floor of the Coffee Academia, and the librarian gives me a curious stare. I better get going. Alice is probably wondering what's happened to me. Yeah, I'm waiting for yelling. Taka, I was worried you might have gotten lost. But it's great to see you back. Did you get to register for the barista test? Sure I did. I even met a friend. She said she'll help me with my cupping training. That sounds great. Is she really good at cupping, or a student like you? To be honest, I don't really know. But she did use her caffeine to burst open all the coffee bean sacks. She made the coffee beans fly like bullets. It really hurt. That sounds like an advanced caffeine. She's probably a famous cupper. What's her name? Her name's Eliza. I don't know any famous cuppers called Eliza. She's around my age with a metal cap on her head. But Taka, that's not informative at all. Wearing a metal cap on the head is a popular fashion in Victoria, especially for girls around our age. Oh, is it popular fashion here in Victoria? I can't imagine what picking up steam where I'm from. Everyone would just think they're wearing some kind of mind control device. Mind control device? What on earth are you talking about, Taka? Sorry, just reminds me of the storybook I read when I was a kid. About some robots coming to enslave all the humans, and forcing them to wear these metal caps. Gave me bad dreams when I was a kid. I'd never wear a metal cap on my head, not for $1 million. But if it's fashion, then why are your cap? Because I need to serve customers in the coffee house. Those metal caps are heavy. Besides, it's very expensive to get a nice one. I'd rather save money and put it aside for rainy days. Alice, you are indeed wife material. Take that as a compliment. But you know what? So, what do you need to do now about the barista test? Well, it looks like I need to be in a coffee duel. I need to learn how to perform caffeine. Really? You need to know how to perform caffeine to be a barista? That was part of the test. Apparently, it wasn't until just recently. From what I heard, it was added to the syllabus a week ago. Passed for percent after they made that change. Sounds really bad. I'm starting to lose confidence that I can actually pass the test. I know nothing about coffee brewing, and I didn't even know what cupping is until today. Worst of all, I've never performed caffeine before, but I'm expected to be in a coffee duel in 2 weeks. This doesn't sound promising at all. Alice looks really worried as well. She must be weighing on her options right now. It's already 6 o'clock. We should close our shop now. But we still haven't sold all our cakes yet. Oh, is that what you were worried about? We're closing at 6? Don't we do nighttime business? What are you talking about, Taka? We are not working at night. Nighttime is for rest. Not to mention I've been up since 4 o'clock in the morning. Alright. We shouldn't stay open for business at night, then. Oh, I nearly forgot to ask. What are you planning to cook for yourself tonight, Taka? Cook? For dinner? I might as well just go out and buy some food. Go out and buy some food? But all the shops are already closed. Not even the restaurants are open? A restaurant? All by yourself? I usually save that for special occasions. No fast food shops here, like Burger Ring or Pizza Mud? Never heard of those restaurants before. Neither have I. What do you mean by fast food? If it's fast, then it's not food. You might try a pub, but it's not a good idea to go there and eat every night. I'm worried that you won't live longer than 2 weeks. Is that bad? Yes! They never changed the oil to use to fry fish and chips. Have you seen fish and chips that are the color of charcoal before? Even the rats won't touch the leftovers. Gross. Aren't there any better options? I know. I'll cook for you. It'll only take me half an hour. Would it be too much trouble? It's alright. I can make a cup of food. I can always make myself a cup of instant... Never mind. No trouble at all. I can do a quick meal for you before I head home. Half an hour later. Hey, Taka. It's ready. Your ratatouille. You know, I've actually thought about making some, like, ratatouille, but, like, mainly the cook in me wants to try it, but at the same time, my taste buds are telling me no, that's a bad idea. But it looked so good in ratatouille. You made this in half an hour? Casually goes into Google. Actually, no, I'll do this, but I'll do this the other way. Phone time! Mainly because I want to see if you can make ratatouille in half an hour. Ratatouille recipe. What the hell? It says it usually takes like an hour and 24 minutes. The shortest I've seen is 45 minutes. Taka, this one's a keeper. I look at the baked tray that Alice is holding. Eggplants, courgettes, tomatoes and potatoes, all sliced and arranged in perfect shapes. Combination of onion and garlic with a hint of herbs spread across the center. Spread it across the casserole releases a sweet and appealing aroma into the air. The smell triggers my salivary glands, and my appetite has taken control of my whole body. My stomach is stirring. I cannot control myself anymore. My stomach is telling me there is only one way to ingest my food, and that is to gobble it up like a hungry monster. But my mind is telling me to slowly appreciate this delicacy that Alice has made the effort to prepare for me. As I keep staring at the casserole, my mind's made up. There's only one way to enjoy this delicacy. Eat slowly, like a true gentleman. I'm really hungry, but I will not let the temptation of good food destroy my etiquette. I pick up my spoon, take a small bite, close my eyes, and slowly chew, enjoying every single bite. I let the flavor linger in my mouth. I want to enjoy every single beauty that is being released from the food. Food so perfectly combined to produce such flavors. Are you enjoying the ratatouille, Taka? I love it. Thank you, Alice. That's actually a really good CG image, too. Tomorrow I can cook some spare food for your dinner. I can just leave it inside the cooler at the basement. You know how to use a stovetop to heat up food, don't you? Of course I do. Don't take me as a lazy bum who doesn't know anything. That's great. I'm leaving now. See you tomorrow. I'm left all by myself for the rest of the night. There's nothing to do here. Maybe I should explore this house a bit more, see if there's anything related to my parents. I searched for a couple of hours, but there's nothing that seems old enough to be from my parents' time. Except for the coffee equipment, which Alex mentioned dates back to the founding of the coffee house, but were maintained and kept in great condition from successive baristas and owners. They look like new. Which means Alice actually does care about coffee to some extent. She just never bothered to, try and learn. There doesn't seem to be anything that would give me a hint about where to find my parents, except for this wall, of course. I haven't spent any time looking at these pictures yet. I close in and start to observe the paintings one by one. I'll do this one first. That's Sydney, Australia. I was gonna say, everybody knows what the Sydney Opera House looks like. From the Opera House, there are some huge battleships. That must have been the Victorian Wall. So I'm in an alternate reality where the United States doesn't exist, and Australia is a warring nation with military muscles. How odd. I'm looking at a huge advertisement poster. 3 men are sitting on a rug and drinking coffee. Even though it was dark at night, I can still make out the words that says Mocha Coffee. Mocha Coffee? Where's Mocha? I've never heard of this place before. Is it some sort of fantasy? Is it some sort of legendary fantasy land that doesn't exist in my world? Also, how do I switch on the lights? I haven't been able to find any light switches in this room. I should have asked Alice before she left. You can still see. The moonlight's lighting up most of these pretty well. A waterfall? I see nothing special about this waterfall. I kinda do. A photo. It's too dark to see anything properly. I better have a look at it tomorrow. It's too dark in here to figure out what the newspaper is about, but I remember Alice telling me it had something to do with my dad, and it kind of does look familiar, because it looks like that airship. So this is King's Cross, London. The capital city of the Praetorian Empire. I remember Eliza mentioned something about Praetorians and Victorians having different types of caffeine. Praetorians can control the wind, while Victorians can't. I still have no idea how that actually works. Okay, calling it now. Taka is part Praetorian and part Victorian. I'm just gonna get that right out into the open before the game fully releases. The Golden Gate Bridge. I knew that as soon as I seen it. It wasn't hard to make out this one, Golden Gate Bridge. So in this world, San Francisco's in a country called the West Coast States. Those airships are pretty cool, not that I want to get any on flying objects anytime soon. So, you don't want to get on a Zeppelin, that's fine and dandy, man. Amazon Coffee. Would it be cool if my cup of coffee was delivered by drones? It'd make such a killing. Oh wait, it's a different Amazon. Even though it was dark at night, I can still make out the words that says Mayan Coffee, and I can see the Mayan temple there. Didn't Eliza mention that everyone was going crazy about the Mayan Coffee? I wonder what was the fuss. Okay, so the last thing is that shield. Yep, shield. It's too dark to see what's written on it. Okay, so this one and this one are the two that I need to view in the morning. Got it. Better have a little another look tomorrow. Okay, quit looking at the cup. I've never felt so alone at night than I am now, all by myself in this coffee house, devoid of all presence of phosphorescence, and even the moon is hiding its face. In utter darkness, I go back to my room and fall asleep after a long and tiring day. Yes, that's how you make a heart shape on your latte. The heart shape is the easiest shape to make. All it requires is a gentle low pour and a little push towards the center. Like reaching towards someone's heart. All it requires is a gentle push. A gentle push. Toward someone's heart? Yes, Taka, never forget that. Be gentle and kind, and people will be kind to you. But you've been dreaming for too long, Taka. It's time to wake up. Time to wake up? That's actually a kind of cool sequence, to be honest. It's all a dream. Victoria doesn't exist, Alice doesn't exist, Eliza doesn't exist. All this time, I've just been falling from cloud to cloud, waiting for the inevitable impact. Nope. How naive of me to think that somehow I'm miraculously being given another chance to survive, another chance to find out where my parents are. But that makes sense. Nobody else made it. Why should I live instead of someone else on that plane? Someone who has accomplished much more than I have. Why should I deserve to live when I have accomplished nothing special for all my life? I don't deserve to receive this kindness. I don't. Nope, you're still in Victoria. I feel a jerk towards my leg. I wake up. My whole body is covered with thick, wet sweat. I lift my back up from the bedsheet. Layers of sweat start to evaporate. I feel a chill down in my spine. My heart is beating fast. The windows are open, wind frantically blowing with a subtle roar. The curtains shuffling back and forth. I stand up, slam the windows shut, and I feel safe again. I'm back at this little attic room, which I now call home. I'm relieved that everything was just a dream and that this bed is a reality that I won't trade for anything else in the world. Day 2, Taka Coffee House. Finally, I'm getting some nice, uninterrupted sleep. I can lie on this bed for another hour or two, let the fatigue slowly leave my ached muscles. Let me just relax. Let me sink inside the mattress for another hour. Oh, good morning, Alice. Do you know what time it is? It's still early, isn't it? Wake up, Taka. It's very late. That's not late. That's still early. 6 o'clock in the morning? It's so early. No, it's not. I've already prepared breakfast for you. At this point, Alice is Taka's wife. Get up, Taka. The breakfast is going to run cold. Hey, don't drag me. Okay, I'll get up now. Alice drags me down the stairs and hands me. Here's your breakfast, some pastries and a glass of milk. Pastries isn't breakfast? Why are you looking at me like that? You're still in pajamas. I'm still in pajamas. Yes, you're still in pajamas. Why haven't you changed yet? Because you forced me out of bed, you crazy lunatic! Because you dragged me downstairs. Oh, that's right. I'll finish your breakfast and get changed. 7 o'clock in the morning. What? Am I supposed to get up so early? I'm not used to this kind of lifestyle. To make worse, I haven't slept much yesterday. Kept having bad dreams. I look over at Alex. She is happily humming a tune while sweeping the floor. You seem to be in a really good mood. Of course, that's because I just ate some sweets for my late breakfast snack. You eat sweets every day for breakfast? Every morning I eat as many sweets as I can so I can know what happiness feels like. That's depressing. I look over the counter and see a pile of cakes and pastries already prepared for sale. Taka, why don't you help yourself to more pastries and sweets? You need the energy for the day. Sure, Alice, but I wouldn't want to take from that nicely organized pile. Plus, isn't that for customers? That's alright, take as many as you like. The fewer pastries and cakes we need to sell, the earlier we can close the shop and go home. Isn't that wonderful? That sounds counterproductive? I was wondering when you'd ask me about them. They're all paintings and photos I salvaged from the basement when I took over the coffee house. You salvaged them from the basement? If I recall, the wall was lacking some color. Hanging those pictures up there does make a huge difference. Yeah, it feels a little homier. Also found some news clippings and photos that might be related to your parents. Why don't you have a look at them? That's what I'm planning to do. I will go over to the wall of paintings and start to observe them one by one. Okay, so we looked at all of those, and that. Is this? That's the Eternity Badge. The Eternity Badge is awarded to exceptional coffee houses in Victoria, and only 4 coffee houses have ever received this award. The Moira Coffee House was the first to receive the award after winning the Royal Barista Championships 10 times in a row. That happened more than 100 years ago. Then there's also the Magic Bottle, the Steamtown Coffee House. Steamtown Coffee House? Did they win this badge because of that avocado latte? Very funny, Taka. Steamtown used to be a very prestigious coffee house on par with Moria. But in recent years, they've been experimenting with different types of coffee. Unfortunately, their innovations have not been received. You can still experiment. It's not just avocado lattes. Last year, they were selling cat lattes. You bastards! You do not sell pussy lattes. Lattes with sophisticated Latin artwork of cats on top. It's not well received by cuppers. By the time they finished the latte art, the coffee was already cold. This angered a lot of their cupper customers, and it probably hurt their reputation more than what they were able to gain. That's why most baristas like really. That's the newspaper clipping I've been telling you about. I found it in the basement when I first took over this coffee house. That's how I learned all about the legendary Richard Knight, my father. I started reading through the article. Independent coffee barista Richard Knight, a newcomer to Victoria, has won the 150th Royal Barista Championships in spectacular fashion and it blows. This year's Royal Barista Championship featured 30 of the most prestigious coffee houses from Victoria, together with a small number of independent baristas invited to participate in under the fairness principle. 8 finalists were chosen among the competitors after the first round of coffee brewing, which was assessed with identical coffee roasts so as to test the brewing skills of the barista. During the second round, the baristas were fined. The finalists were asked to use their own prepared coffee beans and brew the coffee with a technique of their own to their liking. I wonder if I click on the San Francisco thing, it'll be a detail here, but that's where it came from. Tonight, poured hot water directly into the coffee grounds and allowed the grounds to immerse directly in water, a technique only known to be used during coffee cupping. He later poured the contents of the cup into a coffee filter, which filtered out the original grounds and left the final drink clear and crisp. That sounds cool. After the brewing was finished, the judges then proceeded to go around the table and tasting the final 8 cups. The announcer went on to present 85 to 88 respective scores. Proof Victoria baristas are none other than the best in the world. Who scored? It was rewarded an 89.6. Jesus. Then the announcer prepared number of an 8 last cup. However, according to spectators at the scene, he later reported to the newspaper when the announcer looked at the sheet, hesitated, and summoned all the judges to the podium. The audience started murmuring with each other and speculating what might have been wrong. The judges all looked at each other in disbelief, and they all nodded in agreement. The announcer was still unconvinced and left the hall. The crowd grew restless and stared at the judges, waiting for answers, and then there was silence. The silence in the hall was so deadly, even a pin dropping onto the floor could be heard. No one knew what was happening. Suspense ruled the stage. It soon became clear, however, that the announcer's decision to present the last cup of scores were not due to a defect in an otherwise extraordinary cup of coffee, or a suspicion of cheating, but sheer disbelief in the aggregated score. Every individual judge gave their score in private, but none knew what the other judges would give out. It It seems that the final cup of coffee had been given a score that none had ever seen in their lifetimes. Finally, the announcer returned and told the crowd that the king will be entering the hall to taste the coffee himself, which caused the hall to erupt in gasps of disbelief. His Majesty, by tradition, was only invited in the case where he was needed to break a tie, but never in a situation where His Majesty was asked to enter the hall. The king tasted the coffee and asked who the barista was, in which the announcer identified as Richard Knight, the unknown barista that had just arrived in Victoria 1 year ago. All eyes were on him as the coffee king walked towards the strangely clothed barista. His Majesty walked over to him in a loud, clear voice. "Today I have seen the face of God in a cup." With that being said, a thundering clasp erupted in the hall, which caused Queen Victoria's statue to shiver and shake. Never has the crowd in Victoria cheered in such unison, but for those who attended, they knew they had just witnessed history, an event that might not have been seen in 100 years. Yesterday, a legend had been born. The final score was 94.6 out of a 100. The highest score ever given in Victorian history, and 5 points higher than the second place winner. It wasn't even close. Later, under a unanimous decision by the judges in attendance, Richard Knight was awarded the Eternity Badge, which could be transferred to a future coffee house. The Eternity Badge is one of the highest honors which could be presented to a coffee house, awarding it permanent entry to the annual competitions in the future. Only 3 coffee houses have been presented the Eternity Badge in the past, which were Moira, Steamtown, Magic Bottle. When Richard Knight was asked by the newspaper about his future plans, he stated he would be taking care of his pregnant wife, and will also be opening his new coffee house, which will be named after their firstborn child. It's nice to know a piece of history about your family. I never knew my dad was called a legend. I wonder how many people still remember him in Victoria. I'm glad I kept this column piece hanging on the wall. Hey Taka, I know you're very curious about the paintings on the wall, but I need to go back to work now. Perhaps we can look at this another day? I should find a barista. Now that I've booked my spot for the barista test, I can go and practice my coffee brewing skills. That sounds great. I know a barista friend who can help you with your brewing techniques. She works at our cafe house, the place we went to yesterday. Is she that scary blue-haired chick? Wait for Alice and headed back upstairs. Look at my around campus. Who knows what kind of people will be peeking in from the windowsills. I changed my clothes back to Victorian style and head downstairs. Alice, where are you? Oh, there's a note here. Duck, I need to go to the basement and pick up some stuff. You can leave the door unlocked and head out. The barista I was talking about is called Lucy. She's one of the best baristas in Victoria, and a friend of mine. You can ask her how to improve your coffee brewing skills. Her name is Ocean? Is it pronounced like ocean? Funny name. So she must be as calm and serene as the ocean. Taka, you've never completely been to the ocean. Someone named Ocean must be really sweet and polite. I think we found the potential tsundere. Can't wait to see how Ocean looks like. Alright, and on that note, I'm going to leave this episode here. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like down below, comment for more, and as always, have a wonderful day.